material nature is explained as Prakriti, the energy of the Supreme Lord, but one of the two, the Jiva, is conscious. The other Prakriti is not conscious. That is the difference. Therefore, the Jiva Prakriti is called superior because the Jiva has consciousness which is similar to that of Lord's. The Lord is supreme consciousness. However, and one should not claim that the Jiva, the living entity, is also supremely conscious. A living being cannot be supremely conscious at any stage of his perfection. And the theory that he can also be is misleading theory. Conscious he may be, but he is not perfectly or supreme conscious. The distinction between the Jiva and the Ishvara, the distinction between Jiva and Ishvara will be explained in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The Lord is Kshetrajna, conscious, as is a living being, but the living being is conscious of his particular body, whereas the Lord is conscious of all bodies. Because he lives in the heart of every living being, is conscious of the psychic movements of the particular jivas. We should not forget this. It is also explained that Paramatma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is living in everyone's heart as Ishvara, as a controller, that is giving directions for the living entity to act as he desires. Actually, this is very scary. I'll tell why it is very scary. What is that line? That he is giving direction for the living entity to act as he desires. What that? One second. A living entity forgets what to do. First of all, he makes a determination to act in a certain way, and then he is entangled in the actions and reactions of his own karma. The living entity forgets what to do. First of all he makes a determination to act in a certain way, and then he is entangled in the actions and reactions of his own karma. After giving up one type of body, he enters another type of body. As we take off and put on clothes, as a soul thus migrates, he suffers the actions and reactions of his past activities. These activities can be changed when the living being is in the mode of goodness, insanity, and understands what sort of activities he should adopt. If he does so, then all the actions and reactions of his past activities can be changed. Consequently, karma is not eternal. Therefore, we stated that of five items, Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, and Karma, four are eternal, whereas karma is not eternal. Hare Krishna. Mama Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकधामय्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा शिव श्री गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्ण कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरु दीनतारिणम् हरे कृष्ण Srila Prabhupada mercifully further explains the importance of how Jiva is connected to the Lord Ishvara. The Lord is so merciful. The Supreme Father is so merciful that he gives various means, various ways. Why the Supreme Lord is giving various ways and various means? To connect every jiva, to connect every jiva. Because he has a plan for every person. Out of our ignorance, what happens is, because jiva is minute, jiva doesn't understand anything. Natvanitam jatunasam. That means he doesn't understand what is happening in the past life, doesn't understand what will happen in the future life. Jiva doesn't realize that he will exist after he leaves his body, because that is a state of consciousness with which he carries his heart. What is carrying with heart? Carrying with heart means if a person is kind of absorbed bodily, then he carries that only. That means whatever, dear devotees, whatever we think, that is what we carry. For example, if we are really Krishna conscious, then our thought process will be that. And Shravanam will actually help that. Shravanam is the most authorized process. Shunnata Shokata Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtana. Because through the Shravana, what happens is our consciousness is tuned up so much that we want to hanker that more and more. We want to do that Shravana more and more. We want to discuss that more and more. We want to take association more and more. Why? Because we actually get a glimpse of Machita Madhigadapana Bodhayanta Parasloka. Katayantasya Mamukyam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. Ramanti means they relish. When they relish, when they come together, when they hear, when they discuss, when they share, when they get an opportunity. Because these are all the opportunity to be absorbed in the process of Krishna consciousness. Because Bhagavad Gita is actually a nectar. Why it is nectar? Because it is spoken to his devotee. The Lord has spoken to his devotee. It becomes nectar. Why? It is compared to, when we compare to all the Vedas, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita is superior to that. Because it has been actually directly spoken by the Lord to his devotee. We don't see that before in any of those things, because this is like Lord is actually sharing his his opulence, how he created everything, sharing his wisdom, knowledge to the questions of Arjuna which he is asking. Now, Arjuna has been kept in different states. Just like we, sadhaka in this world is kept in different states. Likewise, Arjuna is also kept in different states. So, through the different states, what is happening is thus the jiva is always bewildered because it is a difficult state. But Arjuna is a pure devotee. He knows what to do, where to do in that situation. Dear devotee, just think about this. It's a life and death situation. It's not like an ordinary situation. He has to go through that life and death situation. That means either he has to die or he has to kill. Now, we can say that that is his duty. For example, if a person, you see, he is not killing an unknown person. He is killing a person whom he knows. He is killing a person who gave him everything. So it is a very difficult state. That's why Bhagavad Gita is so powerful, so potent. Because Lord, just imagine if a person is going through the most difficult thing in this world, and then he has a solution to that. And we do not have any, we do not have that big difficulty just like Arjuna had. Our difficulties are small. Our difficulties are limited. Just like we are limited because Lord doesn't give too many difficulties. Let's say we've been given little difficulty. To combat that little difficulty, for example, if Arjuna could combat that, doesn't we combat that difficulties? Yes, we can combine those difficulties through process of Shavana. But here Srila Prabhupada is explaining an important aspect. Ishvara and Jiva and Prakriti. A Prakriti is a separated energy. We discussed yesterday, right? Day before yesterday. Prakriti is a separated energy. What is that separated energy? Hmm. That means it's not intimately connected because Lord created that for a temporary reason. What is the temporary reason? Temporary reason is to just to orchestrate a platform. For example, let's say children are doing school day or annual day. They have a ground in front of their school. What do? They have a stage, they have lightings, they have chairs. They have chairs for the parents to sit, they have chairs for chief guests to sit. There's a mic system, sound system, everything is arranged, right? But the person will come and speak, right? For example, school principal or the head of the school, through his inspiration only the school is running. That person will come because if that person is not there, the school is not there. There will be one person, right? Right? And then there's so many staff, just subordinate to that person, right? The stage which was established, no, that is a separated energy. That is not connected to the school. Do you think that the stage is connected to the school? It is only used as a purpose for that night. After that night, the stage will be wind off. That means wherever they have rented that stage, they have to give that people who have rented, they will come and take away the stage. Right? So that stage is only for temporary. So Prakriti is like that. Please understand. Prakriti is like that. It's a separated energy. It is not part of the Lord. Just like that stage is not part of the school. Is it part of the school? It's not part of the school. But the principal, the head of the school, they are all part of the school. Right? Those are the jivas. They are connected to the school. Please understand. Hare Krishna. They are the jivas which are connected because they have a consciousness. Na? The stage doesn't have a consciousness. But that is a platform. Why? To engage the jivas on that particular stage. So all the living entities were actually connected to that school. They are part of that annual day program. But the stage is not. Because it is separated energy. That's how the Lord has created this creation. When the time is up, the stage has to be winded off, and then they have to engage in some other service. Likewise, when the time is up for us, we will be continuous. We just leave this body because this body belongs to Prakriti. Please understand. This is a separated energy. This is not real. This is not the real identity. This is a separated energy. This body, Bhumi Rabba Nalo Khammana Buddhi Revacha. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. Body is made with that. That is part of Prakriti. That means whatever we have taken from Prakriti, it has to be given back to the Prakriti. Please understand. That means, dear devotees, whatever we are leading a life, everything belongs to somebody or the other. Either we have to leave it to the Prakriti, but the only thing which we carry is our consciousness. Because that consciousness is part of us. We will have the same consciousness in the spiritual world also. That consciousness has to be corrected. Because the jiva cannot live without that consciousness. Because the relationship is developed through that consciousness. The love, affection is developed. Our nature, our swabhava is all been built through that consciousness. Just understand how vital this consciousness is. Just think about this. And Lord is telling, Ishvara is telling that Jiva is my part. It's not separated part. He belongs to me. Who is that Jiva? The Jiva belongs to me. It's not a separated energy. Why the Jiva is part of the Lord? Because the relationship, na. The Lord cannot stay without his devotees. The Lord cannot stay without the Jivas. So, dear devotees, when we think about this and when we chant Hare Krishna, don't we get inspired to chant Hare Krishna? Don't we get inspired to hear? Don't we get inspired to read? Don't we get inspired to learn the life of Srila Prabhupada? Don't we get inspired to learn the life of pure devotees? How they led their life and then what we need to aspire for? The moment we are getting some inspiration, we need to understand we are in right relationship. When that is missing, then there is a problem. So that is the whole purpose. Why Lord is never leaving him? Why Lord is sitting as Paramatma? This is the reason. Because he doesn't want to leave his devotees. He doesn't want to leave anyone. Because we're all part and parcel of him. Even though you have so many living entities in the spiritual world, this is only just one third. Three-fourth living entities are there in the spiritual world. Even though he is so much absorbed, fully, consciously, full relationship with every jiva in that world, in the spiritual world, still he is thinking about these jivas, which are there in the material world. Even though this jiva came away from the Lord, still he is thinking about them. And what to speak about the Lord? If we go further, his pure devotees, are dear devotees, they can stay there. Why they came here? That also through relationship. Because they want to please the Lord so much by extending themselves more and more. Because they do not have any other motive. Their whole motive, their whole agenda is this. To aspire for that. To give that real welfare. Just think about this. Paramatma is the Lord sitting in the spiritual world. He expanded as Paramatma and sitting in everyone's heart. He can just leave, right? Go to hell. He can just leave. But no. Even in hell, he is with us. Understand? Even in hell, he is with us. That kind of a Lord, and hearing about him, getting a taste through Krishna Katha, you know what the greatest fortune we are? We are really fortunate about this. We should be eternally grateful to what we have been given, what we are receiving. Why? Because when the gratitude is manifested in the heart, what happens is love and respect increases. Just when we think about this, why, what reason is there? Why he came like this? Why the Supreme Lord is coming and then sitting in one's heart? Why there is Kshetra? Prabhupada is mentioning about 13th chapter. There is Kshetragna. Kshetra is the body, Kshetragna. Kshetragna is comprises of Atma and Paramatma. Where Atma is a connection with Paramatma. That connection is established through consciousness. To correcting one's consciousness, to correcting one's mentality. Because the mentality is always disturbed through envy. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara. The envy is very powerful. Envy towards the other person. So greatest, actually, you know why envy will come to the other person? Because the envy is there in the heart. Because there is, because we don't want the other person to either move forward, to either progress. We try to put them down through our words or through our consciousness. What is it? It's a deadly enemy. Envy. Shringi was having that enmity with Pandavas since Kurukshetra, even before that Kurukshetra war. He was envious. He was beating himself out of that envy because he couldn't do anything to Pandavas because the Lord is always there to protect them. But somehow that envy has to be come out. It has to come out, right? So Lord was even merciful, and He says, "Oh, okay, you go. Parikshit Maharaj will come after 700 years. You go and then do that service." So He has to put out that envy. That means the Lord orchestrates various scenarios, situations according to one's desire. During the reading which I read, I said, right, this is very scary. What is very scary? Because Lord gives the independence, and through our desires, He's ready to fulfill our desires based on how deep the desires are. It might take one life, two lives, three lives, but He will fulfill that. So, what kind of desires we are cultivating, that is where the Lord is staying. Just imagine, even though we left Him, even though we are completely away from Him, even though we do not have any connection with Him, means we are not there in His realm, in His world. Forget about in His world, we are not there in His realm. His realm is different. Acharya's realm is different. We are not even there in that. We are not there in anywhere. But still, Lord is trying to fulfill one's desire. For example, if you want to have a big home, Lord will fulfill that. If it is not fulfilled in this life, next life. For example, if you want your son to become a big engineer, if he cannot become in this life, next life your desire is very deep, he'll fulfill in next life. For example, if you do not have son, you have only two daughters. You only have two daughters. If you had a desire, oh, I need to have a son, he will fulfill that in next life or in the next life or until your karma is actually there to have a male son. Until that point of time, we have to we have to go through that because Lord will remember that. He will not forget. Just like we forget, He will not forget. Because whatever we are desiring, the Lord is hearing. So better be careful what we are desiring. If our desires are behind money, if our desires are behind so many other things of this world, then what happens? Lord will fulfill that. For example, if there is a devotee who is practicing, he doesn't have money, and then he sees another devotee who is practicing, and he has money, and then this devotee will aspire for that. You know what, my dear Lord, please give me some money. He is not telling externally, he is there in the heart, then it has to be fulfilled. So whatever we desire, it has to be fulfilled. Oh, I do not have good wife. My dear Lord, please give me good wife. Lord has to fulfill that because that is your desire. Just like a father, he has to fulfill the desires of the son. The Lord will remember that because he's sitting in the heart of Paramatma. Everything is tracked down. No, I do not have a good wife. I'm not having good time with my wife. Please, my dear Lord, please help. Please give me please accommodate that kind of a wife. He has to fulfill that. The Prakriti, which is there, she has to fulfill that. It's a separated energy. Why is she there? She has to fulfill the desires of the jivas in this world. Just imagine how this Prakriti is empowered so much. Even though it is a separated energy, it is empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead that you fulfill all the desires of this jiva. Now, for that to happen, he might have to go through lifetimes. That is okay. The Lord says, that's okay, I'll wait for him. Just see how simple heart the Lord is. The spiritual master, the acharyas, when they come, dear devotees, They are heavy with us. Please understand. Lord is not heavy. Please understand. And they are heavy with us. That's only in the class, not outside the class. Why they are heavy in the class? Because they say cultivate that right desires. Do not aspire for anything else. It's like a heavy instruction. No, 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 no. But it is out of love, out of compassion. They extend. That's what Srila Prabhupada says. No, 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 don't run behind that. So Krishna here on the other side, he says, oh, if you have a desire, I'll fulfill. Now he'll tell, you remember me. But on the other side, he will also ensure that he will tell, surrender unto me. But on the other side, he will also ensure that he will fulfill our desires. He will fulfill our needs. I remember my spiritual master telling to one devotee family, they do not have children. Now he said, last life, one or either of you had very bad relationship with your children. What did he say? One or either of you, one or both, had very bad relationship with your children. And then you had this strong desire and this notion that I don't want children anymore. That was a desire. And through that, what is happening? I do not want any children. Through that, what happens, dear devotees? Lord has to fulfill. In the next life, you do not have children. But here it's a trick. This is how the material nature is actually continuing. Now I'll tell how the material nature is actually continuing from life after life. Now the same parents who desired in their previous life that I don't want children, now the same parents will see good children who are actually hearing their parents, who are obedient, who are actually practicing Krishna consciousness, who are sincere, who are actually hearing, who are submissive to their parents. They see that children. They get another desire. I want children. See the trick of the material nature. I remember my spiritual master says, these tricks will come into your consciousness. But you need to always remember, oh my dear Lord, I want you as my child. You can desire that. Why not? Or you're a devotee as my son. Whatever you desire, my dear Lord. Then what is happening? The consciousness is elevated. They're entering into the spiritual plane. That means Lord will ensure that in the spiritual world, He will give that. Please understand. The way how we actually think is what matters. That is what will come through Shravana. That is what will come through relationship. Then I know that devotees, they never aspired for children again. They only aspired service. They only aspired service to the, in the mood of Mother Yashoda because they anchor for that. It's very important. The life in Krishna consciousness has to be total. Otherwise, what happens, dear devotees? If they aspired for the children, again what happens? Again, punarapi janaram, punarapi maranam on a material plane, not on a spiritual plane. If they aspired for children on a material, no, I need to have, I need to have, I need to have, then what happens? It's gone. The consciousness is gone. The consciousness is what happened? The consciousness is diluted because the aspirations are changed. It's all in the heart only. That is how Jiva is always connected to the Lord. Is it not a clear indication, dear devotees? That if you desire something, we desired it, dear devotees, in our previous life. In this life, we desired and then we are fulfilling those things. I remember, I think I was in the sixth grade or seventh grade. It's very interesting how it is getting connected now. But I'm not thinking about these things when I was free. No, it's coming now only. When I was in sixth grade, I was always thinking, oh, I should be in a place which is very cool because I don't like hot weather. I always used to ask, oh, I should be in a cool place, my dear Lord. I should be in a cool place. Then he sent me to America. It's cool. Why? What happens here? What if you desire something, you get it. You get it. Simple life. You desire whatever you do. If you desire pure devotion, if you desire good relationship with the spiritual master, if you really want to surrender him, if you really want to service, if you really want to service, do service to him, then what? That's a desire. You cultivate that. Maya Sakta Manopanta. So what do? They connect to the Supreme Lord. They teach us how to develop the consciousness. They teach us how to aspire, what we need to aspire. They tell us what to aspire, what not to aspire. They tell us where to keep our consciousness, where not to keep our consciousness. So this is what it is, right? This is what I see through the life of my spiritual master, which he has given to us in the form of Shravana. Because he always tells us, Arey, this is amazing, dear devotee. Every day, around 250 through 2 to 300 devotees will hear Shravana every day. 300 devotees every day. Between 300 to 350. It might change. But minimum 300 devotees will hear every day 5:45 in the morning. Indian time. Every day. What is that? Oh, it's not happening just like one day or 2 days. 18 years, 19 years. Every day, every day. There's a break here and there, one day, here and there. But continuously this process is going on. Why? He always tells us this is the best relationship which I can offer. The process of Shravana. Because the devotees, when we continuously hear what happens is we develop a relationship with them. Through the relationship, we understand the truth. This is my understanding, dear devotees. Bhaktosi me sakacheta rahasyam etam uttam. This is the most confidential knowledge. The most confidential knowledge can be revealed only to a person who's actually feeling that. Now, why Krishna told to Arjuna? That relationship. Now, why Maitreya Muni told to Vidura? Because Vidura was in a problematic situation. The Duryodhana sent him. We see in Bhagavatam, Duryodhana sent him. Oh, no, no, you shouldn't be here. Because Vidura was giving suggestions, Vidura was giving instructions to the Drashta. Just imagine, even through the relationship, the instructions are not taken in right way. The Drashta doesn't want to accept that. Vidura was telling, just give. Why are you hankering for this? Why are you hankering for all of these things? Just give now. What is the problem? Just take care of them. What is the problem with that? There's no problem with that. Just take care. But Duryodhana didn't hear. He immediately sends, he chastises Vidura. He chastises Vidura and then he sends. Please understand. What did he do? He chastises Vidura. And then Vidura at this point of time, he goes to Maitreya Muni. This is where an interesting thing happens here. Before he goes to Maitreya Muni, he goes to Uddhava. Who? Vidura. Goes to Uddhava and then he says, can you please enlighten me? Their devotees are not like ordinary personality. They're not like hodgepodge. They don't know anything about what this body, but a powerful spiritual. They're not that kind of a people who are engaged in sense gratification. Ahara, nidra, bhaya, maidunam, cha. No, no, no. They're fully self-realized. And thus, those personalities, they're asking, can you please enlighten me? No, he goes to Uddhava and then he says, can you please enlighten me? And then Uddhava says, no, no, no. There is a senior Vaishnava, Maitreya Muni. Is far more superior than me. You go to him and then hear from him, accept him as your teacher. Go hear from him. Then he goes and then he hears from Maitreya. What of what? Relationship. Extending. Because their whole idea is to what? Krishna Prem. Krishna Katha. Because this is Vidura had a difficult situation. What is he doing? Arjuna had a difficult situation. What is he doing? We are in a difficult situation. Where are we? We are in a Dukhalayam Ashashvatam. This is a difficult state. Some have family problems, some have relationship problems. For some, wife is not hearing, for some, husband is not hearing. They are not listening. Children are not listening. What is this place? Is this place of a is this a place of paradise? No, it's not a place of paradise. This is Dukhalaya Shashwat. Krishna kept. Is a reason for that to be there. Dhritarashtra has so many things, but there's a reason for that because he's not getting satisfaction. He's not getting solace to the heart because he always wants to keep everything for himself. This is a problem. That means whoever is keeping anything for himself, it's a problem. So through that Dukhalaya, we are also in problems. Definitely. Also, we should hear every day. Shouldn't miss. Every day we should. When we hear every day, what happens? Consciousness is improved. Dear devotees, if there is, I'll tell one thing. Whatever we have today, our present situation, I know everyone's situation, our present situation, it is good for us. Please understand. That is good for us to practice Krishna consciousness. We should never expect, oh, things should change like this, things should change like that. No, no, no. It is good for us only. Everything is good for us. What is happening today is good. So our consciousness should be tuned in that way. Vamandev, Vamandev was been asked this, right? Bali Maharaj would say, oh, please, or pucho, please ask more. You are asking only less, please ask more. Then he immediately says, I am satisfied with just 3 footsteps. I am satisfied. I'm a Brahmana, I don't want more. I'm just satisfied with this. This is a very golden statement. What is he? What kind of satisfaction is looking? That means whatever he has. That is what Srila Prabhupada told us. Simple living, I think. That means we should be satisfied with what we have. Actually, that simplicity, that simplicity manifests when we take this truth more and more to the heart. So just like Arjuna heard from the Lord, just like Maitreya Muni, just like Vidura heard from Maitreya Muni, just like Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami heard from Lord Chaitanya, Srila Prabhupada heard from his spiritual master. But Srila Prabhupada was already empowered because he already knows everything, what Krishna consciousness is by his father. But the moment he has seen that pure soul, immediately got connected. And that moment he gave his life to that. Now we are reading his heart. The passage which we discussed is his heart. No, we can say yes, yes, no. This is from Bhagavad Gita. Or Prabhupada is speaking from 13th chapter. Or Prabhupada is speaking from 12th chapter. Or Prabhupada is speaking from 4th chapter. Through some knowledge, we can say we can say that this is coming from that chapter. This is coming from this chapter. Okay, okay, okay. But that knowledge is not which is writing this. Please understand. It is a mercy from the spiritual master. He is what manifesting this. It is a mercy from the Lord. I remember a spiritual master telling, your chanting, your services, or your anything else will not uplift you. The mercy which is given by the Acharya, the mercy which is given by the pure devotee, talking about is uplifting you. Because through that mercy only we are able to chant. Through that mercy only we are able to hear. Through that mercy only we are able to read. Through that mercy only we are able to eat Krishna Prasad. Through that mercy only everything is manifesting. Everything is manifesting through that. Dear devotee, is this not mercy? What is? What is mercy? Krishna, even though we are away from him, he could have said, this gone case, I will just ignore them. But he gave us a facility called Prakriti. He gave us a facility called this body. Because body is coming from Prakriti only. And he gave us consciousness through which we can change that. That means through different bodies we gain different experiences. Now, through this body, what are we trying to do? We are trying to gain right experiences. For example, a pig who is there in pig body, that pig can only experience certain things. And then the pig which is eating the stool, it has an experience with that. That means ahara, it has an experience. But the same pig, when it is transformed to different living entities, it will continue the same ahara, but the eating of stool is not the same. It is changed. The eating is changed. What is happening to that eating? The eating is transformed, but the experience is same because the experience is coming through that subtle, through that consciousness. So that experiences which we are carrying life after life, we are here because current experiences which we have, it's from our previous lifetimes, and then through those previous lifetimes we do an action. Through that action, what happens? We get a reaction. That's how the karma is bounding. That's why karma is not eternal. These four are eternal. Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala. Because Prakriti is always there. And when the Lord is saying that it is temporary, it winds off, again it opens up. Again it winds off, again it's open, again it opens up. That's Prakriti. That is also there. The material nature is there forever. But the karma is not there. Now currently we see that karma is also there forever because since million lifetimes we are here only. But the moment we come in contact with acharyas, exalted Vaishnava acharyas, then what happens? Our karma is changed. What is changed? Our karma is changed. Because what do they teach? They give us the signs. They give us the training. Oh, this is what you should do. Oh, you're thinking like that. Don't think like that. Oh, you're envious to the other person. Don't be envious to the other person. You have karma. Don't cultivate that karma. That is in the heart only. That is only a desire. Just remove that. Because that karma will affect you. Because through that karma, we'll do another karma. Karma, karma. Karma is a desire. Karma is an action. Through desire, you do an action. Through action, you get a reaction. That means desire, action, reaction, they all go together. They are dwelling. That means different desires, different karma, different actions. Different actions, different reactions. Our acharyas, they say that, our spiritual masters, they say that, no, stop that. Cultivate good desires. That means whatever we desire, we get that. Cultivate good desire. This is how the connection is established with the Ishvara. Now, why this Ishvara is sitting in the heart of these pure devotees? Because their desires are pure. The karma is transformed into prema. How? Because the karma is a desire, the material desires are transformed into spiritual desires. When the material desires are transformed to spiritual desires, what happens? Prema is manifested. Love is manifested in the heart. When there is love in the heart, that is a place for the Lord. That is a state of Vrindavan. That is a real consciousness. That is what every sadhaka has to aspire. For that love to manifest, we should leave this materialistic sense gratification. When we leave this materialistic sense gratification, that is a desire only. That means what happens? We should purify our desire. This where we should purify? Not in the action. Action pe purify karna. We cannot even do. We cannot purify one's action. But we have to purify before that, which is desire, which is a consciousness. When the consciousness is purified, the actions will not take place. That means that action will not be manifested in one's heart. 1 second, read what. So that's how it is manifested. What desires are we are desiring in the heart is very important. For whose pleasure we are doing it is very important. Why are we doing it is very important. You ask this question at every moment in your life. Why am I doing this? For whose happiness I'm doing this? What am I expecting out of this? Why am I doing this? For whose happiness I'm doing this? What am I expecting out of this? If all these three things are pure, you'll aspire for pure devotion. If there's a contamination in these three things, you will not aspire for pure devotion. That means you cannot chant Hare Krishna. Because what is happening? Because the purify नहीं हो रहा है ना, material desires है ना heart में. When material desires are there in the heart, there is no manifestation. That's why the sadhaka should be very eager to hear attentively. Because when he hears attentively, what happens is, he should directly go in the heart. Process of Shravana should directly go in the heart. It should not stop anywhere in between. When it directly goes in the heart, then what happens? Then it comes again in the thought process. You're at the office, doesn't matter. You're at the store buying something, doesn't matter. You're at the office, you're working for the Lord. If you're not working, we should aspire for that. Cultivate that desire. Bija jalo na. Put that seed. Oh, my dear Lord, today I'm not working for you. One day I have to work for you. Because when I begin working for you, that is when the service begins. Until that point of time, service not yet began. I have to work for you, my dear Lord. I have to work for the acharyas. They've given so much. I have to work for you. I have to work for them. I have to please them. I have to serve them. We are going to the office. That is the motive. We should put that in our heart. So desire, so bija. Then what happens today or tomorrow? That bija will fructify, it comes into manifestation. If that bija is not there, then how it will come to manifestation? It will never come to manifestation. I'm checking my heart when I'm telling like that. Because I remember a spiritual master telling all of us, cultivate that right consciousness. Work for the pleasure of the Lord. Work for the pleasure of the Acharya. That is our life also. When those things are rightly being done, then our consciousness will be improved. Then we will realize that this jiva has a connection with Ishvara. Very, very important. We need to really understand that. This is Krishna consciousness. What is consciousness? What is consciousness? There is dead consciousness also. What is dead consciousness? Dead consciousness means anything which we deal with the dead matter, which is a dead consciousness. That's consciousness only, but that is dead. Why? Because dealing with matter. What is this matter? Separated energy. It's not a real energy. It's an illusory state. For example, if a person leaves the body, does people do they keep the body in their home for 1 month, 2 months? It will rot, it will smell. Why? Because Atma has left that body. But when the body is there, we decorate this dead body. But this decoration of this dead body is done because the Atma is there in this heart, in this body. That means the Lord is actually giving us the facility to decorate ourselves. We are thinking that we are this. Through this thinking, we decorate ourselves. Is that not an illusion? That is deep illusion. What are we trying to do? We are trying to decorate this, but we are not that, but we are decorating that. And we are feeling happy. What kind of happiness is it? Is that not false happiness? That is false happiness. That is how this world is designed. We enjoy something, we get little happiness out of that, and we think that that is real happiness. That is not at all happiness actually. But we think that that is happiness. Very important. So acharyas like Srila Prabhupada, they come into our life. Spiritual master, pure devotees, they come into our life and then they transform our heart from the dead consciousness to Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is Anandamaya Bhyasat. It's not Padam Padam Yadi Vipadam Matesham. It is at every step there is happiness. At every step there is joy. At every step there is relishment. That is Krishna consciousness. You open up the tap, you see water, you see the mercy of the Lord. This is the mercy. You drink that water, you see, you feel the taste. It's a mercy. It is a mercy of the Lord. Because that is the Lord, He Himself is coming as a taste. That means you're feeling His presence. He's giving us a facility, hmm, to chant Hare Krishna as a mercy. We feel that. And then through that mercy, what happens? We give it back to Him. Just like a child, he received something from the father. Now, what is he doing? The father has given him a watch. The child feels so much inspired. Oh, my father has given me. What he does? He studies better. It's a relationship. It's not like the child is expecting another watch. That's why he's studying. No, no, it's not that. He's not that. He's not the child. He's a very simple heart child. The child is reciprocating with the father in this way. Oh, my father told me. Oh, my father told me. I have to reciprocate. Oh, my father gave me this. He told me I should be like this. He told me I should be like that. And he is responding according to that. Because the father gave love, no. The father extended that relationship. Through that love, it manifests. Likewise, our spiritual master, our acharyas, it's the Supreme Lord. They give us that love. And then they're asking, Etamam prapadyante, tamsalannu reciprocate. Just like we see this example, Srila Prabhupada was in New York. He was actually cooking everything. He was actually doing everything. He was actually cleaning up everything. Nobody was helping him. But later on, one devotee came. Swamiji, looks like you're working very hard. Can I help you? Prabhupada said, I was just waiting for this word. He's giving the truth. He's giving everything. From his side, whatever he has to give, he is giving that. He's not expecting anything. Please understand. This is a pure devotee. Because they're not part of this world. They're in this world, but they're not part of this world. This is Krishna consciousness. This is not dead consciousness. In this material world, consciousness is there, but that is dead. Because there's no Krishna. More important is that there is no acharyas in that. There's no relationship. And if there is no relationship, it is dead only. For example, I remember spiritual master telling this. There's a there's a dog in the street. The dog has four puppies. The puppies are jumping, or one puppy is jumping on the other puppy to drink milk from the dog. But the puppy doesn't think that whether mother has eaten enough to give us milk. She doesn't have that awareness. The puppy will not think that whether mother has enough to give us. Mother has enough strength to give us. She doesn't think. She would just jump on from one state to the other state just to drink. This is a conditioning. That's why mother is also not angry or not reluctant or upset with the puppies. No. Out of love, she gives. Even though she's hungry, she'll give. Even though she did not eat anything, she'll give that milk. Because her desire is to please the puppy. So the Lord fulfill that. The Lord will give milk through that mother. Because their mother is what? Is actually looking for that relationship. But on the puppy side, there's no idea. That's why this is a conditioned state. The conditioned soul will never think about that. We'll never think about what acharyas have done. We'll never think about what spiritual master is giving us. We'll never think any of those things. But the conditioned soul, what it will do? It will just jump on that, trying to get whatever he wants to get. Very important. If we understand this, oh, lot of progress. Hare Krishna. So that is what it is in this two paragraphs. Prabhupada here concludes that the karma is a temporary thing. That means whatever we have today, it's a temporary. It will change. If the bad karma is going on, bad things will happen. But do you understand it? They would understand this, dear devotees. When bad karma is going on, if we are really taking up, because that is a moment we take Krishna consciousness more sincerely. Because a bad phase is going on. Na? If a good phase is going on, rest. So if a good phase is going on, then what happens, dear devotees? You will not remember the Lord. That's why bad phase is also a blessing sometimes. But that is also temporary. So when we understand that is temporary and then use that situation and a platform to enhance in Krishna consciousness, then that karma is actually a gift for us. As a blessing for us. Then we feel the presence of the Lord. Then we say, oh, my dear Lord, if you did not give me that situation, I wouldn't have taken this process. Thank you, my dear Lord, for giving that situation. We get that connection. We get connected to them. We just bluntly, we don't say, oh, it's my karma, Prabhu. Kya karenge? It's karma. Hai. No. This knowledge. Knowledge. We should get realized knowledge. What is it, realized knowledge? Seeing in connection with the acharyas. Seeing in connection with the Lord. We should see how our acharyas have taken that situation. We should see how our spiritual masters have taken that situation. And then according to that, we should also repeat the same thing. This is called as Anusmarana, which we discussed yesterday. It's not Anukarana. Without right attitude, if I open up 5 temples like Anukarana, that will not help my heart. But say I opened up 5 temples because Prabhupada opened 108 temples. Let me open up 5 temples. That is Anukarana. It's not Anusmarana. When one imitates the acharyas, what happens? One will not get satisfaction to the heart because Krishna is not pleased with that endeavor. But when we do Anusmarana, oh, Krishna is immensely pleased. Hare Krishna. This we need to aspire. This is devotion. Hare Krishna. I'll stop here. Anyone has any question? Would like to add anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Amma Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
thank you so much, Prabhuji, for describing the difference between Jiva, Prakriti, and Purusha. Prakriti will never, it's always separated from Krishna, from Purusha. And we are Jiva, they're always connected with Krishna. And when you describe about the desire that we want to enjoy in this material world, the material energy, illusion, Maya, um, through our false ego, intelligence, and through that desire, would like to enjoy this material world. And but if we can redirect our desire to the spiritualized our desire, like to love Krishna, to serve for Krishna, those desires are good. But when we want to enjoy ourselves in this material world only by ourselves without Krishna, that is not good. So that's what Prabhuji I got from your class, like few points. And Prabhuji, I just would like to add here that first we have to hear through our ears, and it will go to our brain, and where we will contemplate. Then it will stay in our heart, and we'll never forget that. So I heard this one from senior devotee. And that would like to add. So, Prabhuji, so to keep in our heart what we are hearing, we need to contemplate in our brain.
Actually, one will never forget if he has a relationship. Because
Yes.
if he has a relationship to the person from which he is speaking,
Mm.
and if he's serving that person, he will never forget. Because see, Krishna is in the heart now. See, to remember or forget, forgetting also, there's a notion to that. For example, Satatam Kirtayantavam Yatanta Shadidamrita. The person who is a pure devotee is a person who is always Satatam Kirtayantavam. That means that person is actually putting an endeavor to remember something. It's an interesting. So Satatam is coming. Is he putting an endeavor to remember the Lord? No, it's continuous. Now, how is it continuous coming? When he establishes that relationship. Pranipatana pariprashnana seva. That is what Arjuna did that. Prabhupada did that. All the acharyas did that. All the pure devotees they did that. If we did that, if we do that, we will also get that. But when we don't do that, then so the endeavor which you just expressed to remember, yes, that is a very good endeavor. Very good endeavor. But we should also know how that comes naturally to us also. Because I know in my life everything is given to me. Nothing I cultivated. Even that remembering what we are, I don't remember anything actually. I don't think that, oh, I need to tell this, I need to tell that. No. Every day it is a spiritual master who is inspiring. It is he who is speaking. That means we should be in depth, we should take him so much to the heart that he will actually speak from the heart. The remembrance, they will give the remembrance. Krishna will give the remembrance. That means what am I doing for remembrance also I'm depending on them. See, in the material world, what we learned is, I'll tell something here. In the material world, we go to the school, our teachers will tell, you should buy hard this, you should buy hard this, you should remember this, you should meditate this, you should understand this, you should get up in the morning, you take hot milk and then read. They tell so many things. The same thing when we apply in the spiritual life, we apply in that way only. But in our material life, they don't say you should depend, we should depend, because there is nobody to depend now. It's only through the intelligence. But when we begin depending on them, what happens is they will give us that remembrance. When they will give us that remembrance, then we feel connected to them. Acharyas will give us that remembrance. They will shower that mercy. And they are ready to give that mercy. But when we do independently, remembering I, me, trying to remember is what? Independent now. No doubt that is the spiritual things only we are trying to remember. But even to remember that spiritual things, we require mercy. That means what am I trying to do? Rather than putting more focus on remembering, what am I trying to do? I'm putting more focus on my prayer, on the mercy, by trying to please them, by following their words. When I try to follow their words, obviously mercy will come. Through that mercy, remembrance will come. Through that remembrance, realization will also come. What are we trying to do? We are trying to fix up that consciousness in that plane. What is this brain? Who gave this brain? Krishna. Na? For example, he can in a moment he can remove everything. Or so-called remembrance. He can remove everything in a moment. On the other side, he can give everything also in a moment. That means if everything is done in a moment, then what is my endeavor to do separately to remember them? So, mind you, there is nothing actually. When we understand that, we feel we become so much grounded actually. And through that, they give so much actually. Do you see me coming anytime preparing for something and then speaking? No. I would never think that I should speak this in the class. There's a remembrance. Oh, who is speaking? I know 100% my spiritual master is speaking. 100, I'm convinced with that. I'm not just blindly telling. 100% I know he's speaking. He is only speaking. I'm not speaking. I'm not speaking. Why? Because I'm depending on him. Because if he gives, I'll do. If he doesn't give, I'll not do. This is real thing. Because what am I trying to do? I'm trying to depend on them. Because this exactly happens in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, they don't put a separate endeavor. Oh, let me do. Let me try to remember them. The spontaneous love should come. Spontaneous devotion should come. That is what ahituki. Ahituki aprayeta. When that happens, oh, there's so much actually. I'll tell tomorrow about remembrance. Just that one word remembrance. I'll tell how deep that is. It's a beautiful science. Oh, everything you get everything actually in Krishna consciousness. All we need to feel that relationship. All we need to feel that connection. When that is established, everything is given. That means I don't have to do a separate endeavor. For example, I don't have to sit and then try to by heart some slokas. Oh, karma jambuddhi yukta hi. I don't have to by heart that sloka. Lord will give us that. If our attitude is right, if our endeavor is right, if our mood is right, if our mood is to please them, then they give that remembrance. I remember Rizona Radhanath Swami Maharaj's father. He left when he was 92. Uh, he doesn't remember anything. But whenever devotee chants Hare Krishna, he remembers that. Whenever there is kirtan, he'll remember that. That means what he has to remember, he's remembering. He's not putting an endeavor. Oh, I should remember this, I should remember that. No, no, no. It happens. So what am I trying to do is, what am I trying to say is, devotion is natural process. Since beginning, I'm telling the same thing. Devotion is not to cultivate knowledge. Since beginning, I'm telling. You follow, aspire, cultivate this consciousness, you will do great actually. You will become natural devotee. And you will do great services. Hare Krishna. I think I'll stop here. Looks like Dara Mataji has a question. Mataji, put the question in the can put the question to my WhatsApp. We'll discuss that tomorrow. Thank you very much. If I cause any inconvenience, please excuse me. Hare Krishna. Amma
Thank
Baswati Mataji, hope you're okay with that.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much for explaining more. And also, Prabhuji, I would like to tell everyone in this call that we also read Bhagavad Gita and discuss ourselves in the evening class 8 p.m. Please, devotees, please join to the call. Always reading association with devotees helps us improve our consciousness. Thank you, Prabhuji. His Krishna and Govinda Prabhuji. Back to you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. From Shila Shroff, please take on the floor. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for talking about desires and amazing realizations today. Actually, the verse Sarvasya Chaham Priti Sannivishto Mata Smritir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. So you clearly made us understand that remembrance, apohanam, is forgetfulness. Both comes from the Lord, and that the best way is to have a relationship with the Lord and His pure devotees. That way, automatically we'll remember. I'm so excited to hear about remembrance. Also, thank you so much for giving us so many different instances from your life also about desires today. So you mentioned about Bhaja Govindam by Shankaracharya. So let's sing the bhajan. There are many verses,